Hey guys, welcome to Cyborg Kitty. In this video, we are going to talk about mutations. This is one of the assignments in Free Code Camp, JavaScript algorithms. So what they want us to do is write up a function which is going to take an array as an input with two elements in that array. And all we got to do is compare the second elements each character and make sure all those characters are in the first element. So it doesn't matter the first element is like we're not going to compare the case sensitivity. We are going to ignore the case sensitivity and it does not matter if the letters are jumbled up. So we're not going to care about the sequence and case sensitivity. So all we want to make sure is each single character in this second array exists in this, sorry, in the second string exists in the first string. That's all. So let's go ahead and write up a code. So what we're going to do is let's make two variables. We're going to call the first one first string, of course. And what's the first string is the first element in that array. And then we're going to strip away its case sensitivity by using two lowercase. Perfect. We're going to pretty much do the same thing for the second string as well. So instead of calling it first string, we're going to call it the second string. And then use the second element in the array and convert it to lowercase. So the next step is pretty simple. Loop through the second string so we can get each character out and then compare it and ensure that it exists in the first string. If don't, just break the loop and return false. So for this, I'm using for loop. You can use any loop that you prefer or you want to experiment with. So I'm just initializing it to 0. Make sure the I, which is going to be the position, is always less than second string's length. Perfect. And then just do an increment. There we go. So I'm gonna get into the logic in a second. So the next step is we're gonna write some sort of an if condition, some way to compare to make sure that character exists in that first array or not. And then whatever the logic is, in case if it does not exist, what we want to do is want to return false. So as soon as the return, this line is hit, it's gonna break the loop, it's gonna stop the function and just return this value. So whenever it's not found, because even if you're on the first character, if the first character is not found, there's no point in checking for the rest of the characters because at that point we know the answer is false. So just return false. But in case somehow the loop managed to go through each and single character and find it in the first string, then it's going to get out of the loop and at which point just return true. So that's the basic way to check the condition in here. Now, how are we checking the condition? So in here, I'm going to use index of method. So what index of method does is it takes the character as input, character you want to check, and checks it in the array and returns the index. So if we, for example, are going to check for index of h in hello, it's going to return 0 because that is the index of this character. What if we're going to check for z? Because z does not exist in here. So at this point, if the element does not exist in the index of, the return is negative. Ugh. Okay, there we go, -1. Perfect. So that's the thing that we're going to check. So if it is negative, which is less than 0, we know the answer is false. So how do we write the index of method? So first thing we got to write is in which string are we checking for the index. In this instance, it's going to be the first string. So let's write that up. Whoop. First underscore str. And then we're going to apply the index of. And what character are we checking for the index? So that would be second string's initial position or the position that the I is at. Perfect. So string is nothing but array of characters. So this works out perfectly. So when we look for string's 0 position here, that's going to be H. Then it's going to iterate through E and then Y and C if each element is there in the first string. If it is, good and well, it's not going to even hit this condition. It's going to return true. But somehow if one of the characters end up not being there, it's going to go through this if. This if turns out to be true and returns false and breaks the whole function and stops it right there, breaks the whole loop and returns false. And everything just stops at that point. All right, let's just hit run. Perfect. There we go. So like I said, we strip away the case sensitivity and then loop through each character in the string, check if it exists in this string. If it does, well and good, return true. If it doesn't, just stop the loop, return false. So that's a little bit about how to write up a method which can, how to write up a function which can do this mutations assignment in free code camp. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more of my videos, do subscribe to my channel, Cyborg Kitty. And yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for watching and have fun coding. And I will see you on my next video. Bye.